I know you just dismissed that evil holiday of Thanksgiving and how it started, but me growing up, I liked any holiday that you didn't have to go to school for.
Me too.
Yeah. Chris, I didn't know who the fuck Christopher Columbus was.
You didn't give a fuck.
George Washington, President's Day, Christopher Columbus, any day. And a lot of those holidays was all after white people, and no disrespect to the black community, but I was so happy those white people was able to give me a day and I didn't have to go to school.
Remember when it used to be Lincoln and Washington Day? You had off the 12th and the 19th.
Yeah.
You had off 2 Mondays in a row. Then they got hip to it and they cut us down to President's Day.
President's Day, they put everybody in.
Motherfuckers.
And then when Barack got elected, they got rid of the holiday altogether.
Yeah. No, and then they got rid of Columbus Day, which I knew was going to backfire.
Right.
Because that means they're going to start changing motherfuckers' days all the time.
Oh yeah, Columbus Day. That's
once you fuck with Columbus, now they want to change Halloween.
What are they going to change Halloween
Saturday. The last Saturday of the month, so the kids don't eat sugar during the week.
Is that like some legislation or something?
No, that's fucking Gentiles.
Okay. I'm like, who makes up this shit?
Yeah, so they always want to change some shit. But, man, let me tell you something. For 20 fucking years, I've been watching you. And I'm like, I wonder what street in Harlem he's from.
Me?
Yeah, I always thought you were from fucking Harlem.
Nah, Brooklyn.
And then the other day, you're from Brooklyn.
I'm originally from Washington, D.C., by way of Alexandria.
Virginia, shit.
But for the most part, when I started, 6 months into it, I broke out of D.C. and I moved to New York. So I consider that my second home. I consider that's the home of my career, but that's my second home in life.
What year did you start comedy at?
It probably was like 96, 97.
No shit.
Yeah, it was right when black comedy was on fire.
And what made you? Did you think about it?
I never thought about doing comedy, but I was always the funniest dude in the room. You know, and I've told this story before. I was in the military. I was a police officer in the military, and I got out of the military, and I was waiting to be a DC police officer, and I used to work for this grocery chain. I was head of security, and it was a guy that used to work for Hostess Cupcake Company, and he had a day job. He didn't quit his day job. He was hostess dude in the daytime, and then a comedian at night. And he would give out free passes to get people to go, and I used to go with a lot of people I worked with, and I started heckling. I was heckling people. I was heckling the shit out of people. I mean, I was heckling where pros was coming up to me saying, "Yo, chill, man. I'm trying to work on this set for so." I was like, "Man, fuck out of here. You do your job, I'm gonna do my job." And I did that so long that people started to come to the comedy club to hear me heckle. And I was so naive because I went to the club owner and I was like, look, I didn't increase y'all business by 30%. I tried to get a door deal as a heckler. Yo, I was like, man, look at the numbers that I'm bringing in. They looked at me like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What club was this?
This was Comedy Connection to Greenbelt.
No shit.
And it was like, and at this time in the 90s or late 90s, it was like black comedy was popping so hard that it wasn't comedy clubs, but it'd be like a pizza shop that, you know, like they usually have slow business on a Monday or a Tuesday. They would start at night, and then they was finding out that, you know, these little small comedy hubs turned into comedy clubs. Monique, she flipped a restaurant in Baltimore when she first started from a struggling restaurant. She had a comedy night on a Thursday, and it was doing so well. Her door was doing great. The food was doing great. Everything was doing great. Business wasn't doing well on the weekends, and she turned it over and flipped it where she caught the lease, and she turned it to one of a black comedy club in Baltimore. And that's how the Comedy Connection at Greenbelt, it was a spot that the need for black comedy was so overwhelming that anybody could just open up and say, you know, we got black comedy, we got Def Jam comedy, you know. So I went on. They wanted me to shut the fuck up. I didn't shut the fuck up. And one day they say, "Would you go on?" And I was like, I like it on this side of it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, no, I don't want that pressure. And I didn't do it that week. And then I went and that week I went and wrote what I thought was a half hour worth of material. You know, when you first start, you think, you look at a set, you're like, oh, that's going to get me a minute. That's going to get a minute. And that ain't got nothing to do with nobody laughing at the shit. You being nervous and forgetting the shit. And I practiced what I thought I was going to have a set. And a week after that, I went on stage. I caught a standing O, the first time I ever touched the mic. And I'm sure part of it wasn't just that I was super funny, but because I had such a history in that club, people were really rooting for me. They wanted me to graduate from being a heckler, and the only thing next to do is to go on stage. And that day, I never looked back. I was like, this fuck being a cop, I'm doing this shit. That's how it started.
Now, how long were you in the service for?
4 years.
And you were stationed in Korea.
I was stationed in Kunsan, Korea.
What'd you think?
I loved it. When I went in the military when I was 17. So my mother actually had to sign, I had to hit parental consent to fight for my country. And for me, it was a good transition because I'd never been on an airplane. I'd never been outside of the Alexandria area. Culturally, it was great. You know, for me, not really being trained in anything or have any skills. And for most black people, that's a good option to just being a street person or going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Probably the first time some people get credit cards, first time you see anything. So that experience of me leaving home was incredible. I met some good friends in basic training, met some good friends in tech school. My first duty station was Kunsan, Korea. I met some people that I still consider to be my closest friends for years. I met some good people. And I got to go to a place and learn a whole different culture, a whole way of life, a whole different how people look at people. And it kind of opened me up to look at the world different from that person that would have just been, you know, on a corner talking shit, rolling dice and smoking weed and shit.
Why didn't you stay in?
I didn't stay in because I had a discipline problem, and it wasn't enough to. I would have kept getting in trouble. I wasn't built for it. 4 years was good for me. Like, I had an issue with respect, I guess. I wasn't a bad.
You didn't like how you were spoken to?
I just didn't like anybody just because you outranked me being able to say any fucking
talk to
thing
you the way
want.
they want to. Right,
and then some people like was abusive with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I would rather you talk to me like a man first, but not like somebody that, you know, that works for him. You know, and it was a good transition for me, not doing anything in my life, with finding something to do, and it was just time for me to move on. You know, I had some good experience and I met some good people, but I wasn't built to be running out of bunkers and doing. In fact, if I had to protect this country, a lot of people would have got killed, son. We used to do exercises where you simulate war. So you simulate like what would happen if you under attack by, you know, North Korea or whatever. And when you get killed, they come and pick you up in this van or this truck, this deuce, I think it's called a deuce, and they take you to the gym. And when you get to the gym, while you're there, you get to play basketball, right? so, man, it wasn't no black people in that battleground, son. It was all white people with camouflage makeup on all of their face, hiding behind trees and shit. Black dudes in the gym hitting 3-pointers, man. We was like, fuck that war.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.